when I focus on stocks, right, I see the results that I want.
Yeah.
Faster than I expect.
Yeah.
Right? And I see other people, when they just focus on, let's say, property,
Yes.
they get
Very well. They
what
do very
want
well.
or more, right?
Yeah.
And even if they like miss their targets by a little bit. But if you do a little bit of everything, then like maybe you do well in properties and suddenly your stocks are down. Or maybe you do stocks well, but then your property no rental.
Yeah.
So then, it's like one step forward, one step back. Hedging?
Hedging?
Well, forward, back. Every time you make money, you must lose money. Right? Before we begin the podcast, have you gotten your free ebook? It's called the Build a Six-Figure Portfolio Guidebook. Now, inside it, we share with you the tips and tricks to bring your stock investing skills to the next level. The best part, it's only 10 pages long and it's totally free. Whether you're on Spotify or YouTube, the link to download is in the description, or you can go to www.firl.co/FREE or www.firl.co/free. Welcome everyone back to the FIRL podcast, the best place for long-term stock investors. So today, John, here's what we're going to talk about. This is going to be slightly controversial, but we're not afraid of too much, a little bit of controversy.
Ruffling a little feathers.
Yeah. And this is also, I think, a good reflection for us.
Yeah.
As in, it's also advice we are giving ourselves in the future.
Yes.
And if you listening right now find that we do any of these things, please let us know, right? Because we always need, hold us accountable. And, be a corrective mechanism to our journey as online content creators although we're in the stock investing space, but sometimes it gets lumped into the personal financing space. Personal finance, not personal financing.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a different.
Are you providing loan shark services now?
That's a totally different industry, personal finance. So anyway, today we are going to chat and really share our views on what we think are some of the biggest problems with the personal finance industry in Malaysia, whether it's offline or online.
Yeah.
And we feel that as a beginning, we think that this space is a very good space to be in. Obviously, that's why we started FIRL.
Yeah.
We think that there's a market demand for content. And overall, we have positive things to say about the industry.
That's right.
But that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the things that are a little bit more negative.
The elephant in the room.
Elephants in the room. And the reason is because I think we see a lot of things that we don't really agree with. And we know if you're listening, we want to shed this light, some light on a lot of these things, and something you need to take note of. And we're just going to give you, great examples. And we're going to talk about people who we think are, really good in this industry.
Yeah.
So, we were discussing before we did the podcast that the first thing we really want to talk about and the first problem that we see when it comes to just content creators in personal finance is affiliate marketing.
Maybe some context to what affiliate marketing is right now. So how I understand affiliate marketing, or how we understand it, is that a content creator gets paid for promoting a product or a service.
Yeah.
Whether he uses it or he doesn't use it, and he gets a compensation based on the number of users that sign on to the service or the product that he markets.
Yeah, and somewhat linked to it is also like paid advertisements, essentially.
That's right. Sponsored advertisements.
Sponsored advertisements on the videos. Now, I am actually not against affiliate marketing. I think that it's good, only provided that I use it myself consistently. Right?
You eat your own cooking lah.
Yeah, I eat my own cooking. So, and the reason is also this, because as a content creator, you have a fan base.
That's right.
Right? Okay, I don't use the word fan base. I hate that word, sorry.
Yeah.
You have people, friends and followers who trust some of your
Opinions.
and recommendations. And when you're using or promoting a product, you want to make sure, I think as an online content creator, that the product is good or the service is good.
Yes.
And the best way is to actually use it yourself consistently.
Correct.
Right? So why is this a problem? Is because we find that there's a lot of content creators online, especially, that, they have a link in their Instagram, YouTube, whatever. But they don't really use the product. They don't talk about it too much, or they talk about it all the time in one single video. It's not like a by the way thing, right? They'll specialize one video just for that product. And it's so obvious that they're just trying to sell you that product.
That product.
That they're probably not even using.
Yeah. It's very similar to this, It's like this wonton mee is very, very good.
Yeah.
But you've never been to the stall. You've only heard other people talk about it. And it's also linked to, I think, the compensation scheme.
That's right.
MJ. Because let's all be honest, what we find very funny is that people are hypocritical about how they make money. And I think that is a disservice to the community you are serving, because, and I have to thank you for sharing this book with me, Henry Hazlitt's, Yeah, I think it really gave me insights to there's no such thing as free. I mean, we heard this over and over again, right? So whenever we subscribe to a product or a service, right, the company has to make money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And while we're not demonizing the product or service, what we're saying is that understand how is that company making money.
Yeah.
And try to understand whether it is of a conflict of interest to you. I think that's key, because if it is a conflict of interest to you and you are subscribing to a service that may not be in your best interest, but the way it's being promoted by the affiliate marketer in this place.
Yeah. And the affiliate marketer would be, like let's say, the content creator.
Or an influencer who may come up to you and say, oh, we'll give you free education, we'll give you very cheap cost. But actually, he or she is being compensated by affiliate marketing, selling you a product or service that may not be in your best interest.
And worse still, that they don't use.
Yeah.
Like I give you an example, I think one famous one, and I have nothing to say about the brand because I personally don't use it. So like I said, this is not a product review or anything.
It's a neutral stance. It's just putting out a fact.
Yeah, like for example, we know there's this trading brokerage called eToro.
Yes.
Right? So eToro does a lot of affiliate marketing.
That's right.
Now, there's nothing wrong from the outside about using eToro.
Yeah.
The problem we have is not so much with eToro, is with the people promoting eToro who don't use eToro, who don't talk about it, who don't explain in detail why is it that eToro is better than the others.
Yes. There's no fact-based, unbiased review when they promote the service.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to highlight, actually.
Yeah. And the thing about bias is that I think everyone is biased, right? So we run a mentorship program.
Yes.
We sell products.
Yes.
And of course, in that sense, we are biased.
Yes.
And everyone is biased to some extent. But the issue here is that you sell something, but you don't do it. So like the mentorship program that we run, for example, the methods we use.
It's our own cooking.
It's our own cooking, right? It's what we do, right? Yeah. But if you, let's say, promote eToro and you don't use it a lot and you only create, videos specifically for eToro, you don't create a consistent update to your let's say your subscribers, your followers on Instagram about why eToro is great, then people, or at least I, will be very skeptical. Now, this is where I want to bring in our good friend Suyin.
Yeah, yes.
To contrast how I think affiliate marketing can be done well and even, I would say, ethically.
And professionally.
Yes. So Suyin, you're listening to this, sorry I have to say this, but if you've been in the personal finance space and watching all these videos in Malaysia, you know that Suyin is, again, she might hate me for saying this, but she's stash away girl.
Yeah, she's a stash away girl.
All right, so Stashaway, they do robo-advisory, right?
ETFs.
Yeah, robo-advisories. Now, she also does affiliate for her, right? You can go to the videos, you can see there's a link there.
For affiliate for Stashaway.
And she'll get compensated from that. That's well known, right?
Yes.
But why I would say that that is a much more proper way of doing things is because if you look, she doesn't just do one video on StashAway. She does many videos, and she actually guides you through step by step from her perspective, what are the features and benefits of StashAway. And so then as a viewer, you can be like, oh, this is a lot of information that I didn't know, whether it's the sign-up process, whether it's understanding the risk index, whether it's all these things. But when you but in stark contrast, if you just say, hey, you know, I have a StashAway link in my YouTube description, and then that's it.
And you don't even update your portfolio. Like Suyin, after a year she updates her portfolio. Hey, my portfolio is up, my portfolio is down. It's her lifestyle. She is eating her own cooking. Yeah,
and another creator on a shout out is Ziet, you know. Ziet Invest. You guys should, you know, subscribe to his channel.
Yes, right.
He does something similar, not as much as Suyin, but he also does pretty good explanation on StashAway, a few videos.
Even the one that really caught my eye, MJ, was the one he did on Apple. He gave a thorough analysis on Apple. And the best part, why I like about it, is because I know he is an advent Apple fan. He just bought the latest MacBook. He really is into the product. You know, I only have 3 Apple products. He's probably got a 2 MacBooks, an iPad, AirPods, and he's into the company. He's eating his own cooking. I mean, I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, and I think that like, we are not against affiliate marketing.
Correct. Don't get us wrong.
In fact, any brands listening, you know, if you let us use your service and we like it, we'll actually do affiliate marketing for you.
In a way, Share Investor, we love it.
Yeah, we love Share Investor, right?
Yes.
We're not paid. Share Investor, please.
Yeah, please.
You know? We always talk about. But there's nothing wrong with affiliate marketing. The problem is when you just kind of shove all these links and promo codes and whatnot to your
viewers,
and then you
don't use it.
Like videos, like short videos explaining when it's so obvious it's essentially just an advertisement. And
it's like this cup of water. Oh, it's very good. It's very good. But you're not going to drink that one cup, right?
Yeah. It's that's something you need to take. I think that is one big problem.
Authenticity lah.
Yeah, that needs to, I think, evolve. I think it's just an evolution stage right now.
That's right. People are discovering their space and you need.
Yeah, I think so. But that as a listener, I feel that's something you need to take note of whenever you watch online content creators. And to be fair, it gets quite annoying also lah.
Yeah.
When they keep promoting. So, but I think there's a deeper reason why a lot of these companies are doing all this affiliate marketing, all that. Most of the time, an online content creator, just like any business, has to make money.
Correct.
Right? So we are upfront. Like, so for example, for this business, we make money through our mentorship program.
Yes.
As well as some of our e-products.
That's right.
So we are upfront. That's exactly how we make money, right? But, you know, a YouTube channel that is that has no products, they might present themselves as we have no, like, maybe a course or whatever to sell.
Or an altruistic cause.
Yeah, and they think they're altruistic, but actually they have to make money.
Yeah.
And the way they make money actually is through more views. And how do they get more views? Is by actually reviewing or advertising all these products, because these products, say StashAway, eToro, or whatever, will take, you know, their videos and they will share it. And then also it's what we call a high SEO target, high SEO topic.
So what is SEO?
So SEO is just search engine optimization. It's basically a way, anyone who wants to be a YouTuber needs to know this, right? It's basically just a way to make your videos more visible. So like, for example, StashAway or even eToro, right? They are very highly searched keywords.
It's a keyword, yes.
It's a keyword, right? Highly searched keywords on Google. And so if you create a video with that keyword, then the search engine will pick up. And that's why they call it search engine optimization. So if you look at a lot of online content creators, and you know, we will also do a couple of videos like that.
Yeah.
Which is that if you sort their YouTube channel, right, and you sort from most to most popular,
correct,
it's always this product.
Yeah.
It's always the StashAway and all this, right?
Yes.
And again, nothing wrong with that. But that's how they gain the views, so that they didn't get paid for their YouTube videos, the money. And then as they increase the viewership, then more people hop on to their affiliate links. And this is how to make money.
And I think what we're trying to describe here is the framework of the compensation.
Yes.
That's all.
And here's another thing. The reason they have to do that is because I feel a lot of online content creators today, they start a YouTube channel because they want to create a livelihood out of it. So they need that income.
And that this is in a way a revenue funnel for them.
Yes. That's why they have to keep promoting all these products and services, right? Whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
Or even they are like, not to say that they think it's bad, not to say that they're dishonest, but they maybe have no feelings about the product. But just the product, so they just put it out there.
Yeah. It's not their part of their lifestyle.
Yeah, correct. That's why when we started FIRL, we knew, right, that we cannot rely at all.
Yeah.
And that is why we have our own portfolios. We are generating income from that, growing our wealth through that, rather than FIRL. FIRL might make money, a lot of money in the future. We don't know, right? It's definitely not there yet, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely not, we don't know. Maybe not. But that's really not the big motivation, I feel.
Yeah. And I think, when we started this, MJ, I think just the short summary of how we started was that I got tired of repeating myself over and over and again. Yeah. And you got tired of only talking to me about stocks.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah. So it is something of a lifestyle that we ourselves practice. And let's not be trying to be hypocrites here. We have to make money from selling education content.
Yeah, for sure.
And the reason why we do that is because of what we said earlier about we only eat products or services of our own cooking. Yeah. And what better to sell than our own cooking rather than someone else's cooking that I'm forced to sell.
Sure.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt this podcast. I know it's a little bit annoying, but I want to tell you something that I think can be really helpful to you. I can tell you're really interested in the stock market and want to learn more about it so that you actually know what you're doing, especially when today things are getting more complex and complicated. That's why we came up with the Stock Investing Blueprint, or SIB. It's our signature e-learning program that teaches you how to pick the right stocks most of the time, buy and sell it at the best possible time, and manage your stock portfolio systematically. It currently has more than 10 hours of content and it's growing. You'll also be part of a group of like-minded investors that can help speed up your learning process. To hop on the program, click on the link in the description or go to learn.firl.co/courses/SIB.
So, besides affiliate marketing, I think what is the next struggle for online personal finance creators actually?
Okay, so this one is more to do with their content message. So I find that too much of content out there is centered around, there's like this obsession with budgeting and saving money. Like there's 1,001 ways to budget. There's this system, that system, this number rule, that number rule.
And very long spreadsheet.
very long spreadsheet, do this, do that, and a lot of obsession surrounds saving money. And the reason I bring this up is because I think in October, the Malay Mail, there's this opinion piece by this lady called Erna Mayuni.
Oh yeah, right? Yes.
I thought she was very polarizing, right? She came out with a very provocative title, right? It's called "It's More Income, Not Financial Literacy That the Poor Need." So I'm not going into her reasons or her suggestions, counter suggestions as to what the poor need.
How to solve the problem. You're not trying to solve the problem. Yeah.
But I do think that her impetus of saying that at the end of the day, if you don't make enough income, there's no money to save. You cannot budget your way to money.
You cannot budget your way out of poverty without income. I think that's what she's trying to say.
Yeah. So like, what do you think? Where do you stand? Because it's not like I still remember when this came out in the personal finance community, and in fact, I think she actually attacked. Of course, she didn't name, but she attacked one very famous personal finance blogger about her identity. To be fair, I don't know who, but apparently attacked her for her braces or something like that. I don't know.
I also don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who to be honest. Yeah. But So there was a dividing line, right? Where, income is more important. Then the other side said, no, financial literacy, budgeting, or savings are important. So where do you stand on all this?
Great question. I stand on the side of income.
Okay.
Reason being, I came from a family of teachers. And in my naive past, right? And I'm daring enough to admit this. When I started investing, and I would say, how come my parents did invest? And as I grew older, a little bit wiser, I realized that your mental ability or your mental capacity to actually think or even dare to think about investing is not there. And I refer this to Maslow hierarchy.
Yeah.
If you are at that level when you are barely surviving, right? No matter how much you try to inculcate some personal finance habits or whatever, it's not going to help. It's not going to help. He is trying to fend for his family, trying to figure out the next meal. He will not have that mental capacity. So I stand on the side of income. I might as well spend the first phase of trying to figure out a way to get better income, then only think about the budgeting, the savings, and all that kind of thing. And a lot of times people say that, rags to riches, whatever. I don't believe that's entirely true, because if you had a little bit more than what you could spend on, you already have some kind of confidence to be able to invest that money.
Mm-hmm.
People discount the fact so much that they say that once you budget and you save, you really, ironically, I stand on the side of income rather than budgeting. What about your thoughts, MJ?
Well, I hate to use this word, but finance is holistic, right? But it's a sequence of events, right? So, personal finance blogging and all that. Who is the target market? People under 30, 35,
just starting out, the job.
Yeah, and I do feel that when it comes to wealth creation in general, right? There's really only 3 steps, right? Make money, save money, invest. But it must happen in sequence. And so I think at the beginning, definitely, if you're someone, especially if you're under 30, you need to focus first on the make income portion.
That's right.
Right? Now, this doesn't mean that the other 2 steps are not important.
Or not relevant.
Right? It's like you have to pump petrol into your car.
Or even baby steps. You can't be running without first learning to crawl. Without first learning how to crawl and then to stand, to balance yourself, to walk, and then
but you see, just because you have to learn to walk first doesn't mean that running is less important, right?
Correct.
It's just a question of timing and sequence.
That's right.
So I feel that you need to start with an income first. But I think that the saving money portion and the emphasis on budget, all that, is very important, especially for a lot of high income earners when they spend every dollar they make.
Actually, you brought up a very good point, MJ. And sorry to interrupt.
Go on.
It's really, the struggle is this. Once they get that first step right, which is earning an income, right, the more income they earn, the more they spend.
Yeah.
And that's where it lies in the difference. And this is where personal finance and budgeting kicks in. It's because you've turned on the taps. You turn on the taps bigger, it means more income, right? But then you are filling a pail of water that has a lot of holes. So that is the part where personal finance and that habit of discipline, spending below your means, kicks in.
So it's a question of sequence.
It is a question of sequence.
I mean, it's like the problems that you will face when it comes to, let's say, dating is very different from the problems in marriage.
Oh yeah,
maybe in dating is about building trust. Let's say as a guy, it's about not looking at other girls all the time, for example, right? It's giving the trust and all that, managing jealousy. But in marriage, then a different set of problems. Maybe is in-laws or children,
time, responsibility.
It's just different set of problems. But you see, when you keep emphasizing, like a lot of personal finance content creators out there, on the rules of marriage, right? And talk about it, and when the guy is looking for a date, then it's very difficult. and okay, I'm gonna talk about this, right, a little bit more. don't worry, this is not a dating podcast, right? But what happens is, right, when you take dating advice from a married person, what is he going to say? He's going to say things like, you need to be like responsible, you need to get your money down low, you need to be kind, you need to be nice, you need to be patient, you need to be all these things, right? But here's the thing I realized, right? At the dating phase, none of that is going to attract a lady.
Yeah.
It's going to be something else.
It's going to be like things like you have to be suave, pick up lines.
Right? Maybe you have to be confident. Maybe you have to excite her with your ambition, right? But the rules of marriage and the rules of dating are very different.
Very, completely.
So when you are emphasizing on saving money, it's a down the road kind of thing. When the guy already has maximized his income, to use that phrase.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's the obsession is a bit too big.
I think the point maybe you're trying to make, correct me if I'm wrong, MJ, is the polarizing opinion. It rather is like, it's not one and one.
Yeah.
It's not one here, one for the budgeting camp and personal finance camp, and then one for income. It's actually a sequence that when people go through those phases, certain things kicks in. That's all.
Yeah. I think if you're starting out, really, it's just where's the best position you can be to make the best amount of income, and also the best place for growth, the best place for long-term growth in your income. And then after you got that out, okay, then you can start learning your budget, learning all the systems, the buckets.
But saying that at the same time, you can learn about it.
Yeah.
Even when you... I think I take that back. I think the mental capacity is only ready when you know. I
mean, look, if you're someone who has tremendous mental capacity, you can actually simultaneously do everything.
Yeah.
Right? You are very good at, let's say, making money. At the same time, you have like a sixth sense or like a self-built intuition to manage finances. Like, you know how much money is going where each month. And you are able to say, I need to save 30% of income. Then you reverse engineer from that mathematically that, my car has to be this, my house has to be this, my insurance has to be this, blah, blah, blah. Like, there are people that... They are. Right? By second nature, like, you kind of have to be born with it.
Yeah.
But if you're going through the training of budgeting, there's a lot of effort and sacrifice and time and energy. Then you realize, I do so many things, I spend hours, and then I'm like saving, I've saved an additional 200 ringgit. Now, saving an additional 200 ringgit is fantastic.
It's a lot, man. I mean, when you're first starting out.
But I do think that if you employ so much energy to save 200 ringgit, you can employ the same amount of energy to make extra 2,000 ringgit.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's something, like, if you're someone who has a propensity for saving and you love budgeting and all that, don't think what I'm trying to say is like pouring cold water on what
or discounting whatever you're doing.
It's just, I'm just trying to raise awareness that there's this other element that you cannot ignore. And so that's why I agree with the spirit of Miss, what's her name, Erna. But of course, the article is very long. And it's about solving, poor people, and it's a whole different process.
Yeah.
So that's really about the obsession with budgeting and saving. So I'm going to go to the next obsession.
Sure.
You tell me what you think, right? And that is this, to me, very unhealthy obsession with diversification.
Oh, don't get me started, man.
Please start.
So, I also naively believed in this concept.
Okay.
Don't put your eggs in one basket. All right. And that was the phase I went through, because when I started, it was stocks, it was unit trusts, then stocks, then properties. And looking back in hindsight, everything looks clearer now. It's like, if I had chosen to focus, right, life would have been very different. Obviously, I can't turn back the clock and do that, right? But maybe what I can highlight are the fallacies and my own bad experiences going through diversification. One, when you are diversified, right, I couldn't seriously ask myself, am I really good at one?
Yeah. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, I was master of none. Here I was reading ferociously and I couldn't keep up. I mean, how many people, hand to heart, honestly, if you invest in unit trust, how many of you actually read your annual reports?
Yeah, exactly.
How many of you actually know how to calculate fees, how to calculate the returns?
They even know what the fees are involved in the first place, right?
Exactly. So if you are a serious unit trust investor, all right, you would actually be able to know ratings of funds, be able to know thematic sectors that this unit trust invest. And I was an agent. I was a unit trust agent. And I can tell you, less than 20% of the unit trust agents out there don't even understand how the funds are managed.
Damn.
I know I'm going to ruffle feathers when I say this, but it's you go and ask some of them, they don't even know how these funds are actually managed.
They just sell it.
They just sell it. They're good marketers. Oh, I mean, they have to feed. They have to feed their family. But yeah, that's it. And why this is even part of the diversification theme is when you are spreading yourself too thin, even if you make 100% on your unit trust, let's say you're very good at it.
Yeah.
You make 100%, but you only constitute 10% of your portfolio.
That's a 10% gain.
Correct.
Okay, not bad.
Not bad, right? And then you've got the rest spread out 10% here, 10% there. Net, right? What happens? Net, you don't see a significant amount of gain, in your portfolio. And I think that's where the fear is this. The fear stems from volatility. I think a lot of people fear about any products or financial products that they buy or they invest in, and they see a 50% drop. And because of that, they spread it. Say, oh, okay, I am hedging my risks because I'm putting into so many things. If property goes down, I've still got my unit trust. If unit trust goes down, there I still got my stocks or whatever.
Yeah.
There is a certain truth to that correlation.
Yeah.
But that is also a sequence problem. You only go through diversification when your net worth is so high. When you have to hedge against things like Forex. Because let's say if your net worth of 30 million, for example, right?
Ultra high net worth individual.
Ultra high net worth individual. Then you talk about diversification because you want to optimize your tax.
Yeah.
You want to optimize your trust structures. You want to optimize. Then you talk about diversification. But anything less than $1 million, guys, focus. I mean, that's me. What about you, MJ?
I agree, and I'll just add a few things, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, we know that anything that you do, you get paid for excellence.
Yeah.
Right. You
get paid for specialization.
Yeah. You were you used to be at Shell.
Yeah.
And I still remember you telling me that you were earning before you quit 600,000 ringgit a year.
Yes.
Your tax bill was a Toyota Camry, right?
Yeah.
And the reason you were paid so high is because you were specific at fixing and maintaining offshore platforms.
That's right.
Not many people have that skill.
Yes. It's a very specialized skill.
Correct. And so because you specialize in that, so you generated a certain level of wealth that only some people can dream of.
That's right.
And then only maybe you start to diversify. Even then, I would say you're not that diverse as well.
Yeah.
Even where you're at, right?
Yeah.
So I think, like you said, diversification of people are afraid of volatility and hedging.
Yes.
What's the objective of hedging? The objective of hedging is to make zero and lose zero. Now that's your question. If you only have 10,000 ringgit to your name, or even 100,000 ringgit to your name, is zero an interesting proposition to you?
Nope.
Right?
Yeah.
Like zero might be interesting to Jeff Bezos. It's like, 70 billion. Would I be happy with 70 billion 10 years from now? Yeah, I think so.
Can you imagine that hedging you mentioned zero, right? You start doing that and you don't realize it's actually capital preservation. You go into capital preservation when your net worth is at 10K. Hello.
Yeah. And and to your point about expertise and depth, right? That's a career example. And I think the same when it comes to investment asset classes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Like, and of course this is unpopular, but I do think that, and based on even my own life, right? When I focus on stocks, right, I see the results that I want.
Yeah.
Faster than I expect.
Yeah.
Right? And I see other people, when they just focus on, let's say, property, they get
very well. They do very well.
Or more, right?
Yeah.
And even if they like miss their targets by a little bit. But if you do a little bit of everything, then like maybe you do well in properties and suddenly your stocks are down. Or maybe you do stocks well, but then your property, no rental.
Yeah.
So then, it's like one step forward, one step back. Hedging?
Hedging?
Forward, back. Every time you make money, you must lose money. Right?
Actually, it triggered a memory of mine. This was my GM, my general manager.
Yeah.
Okay, he's one level below the chairman of Shell Malaysia, right? He actually said this, and he's one of the highest paid executives in Malaysia for the business unit, right? He actually publicly said, of course, he didn't divulge the exact number. He said, don't complain about your salary because I get paid less than the most senior technical specialist within the country.
And he's GM.
He's a GM, but he's a general. So he says some of the senior well managers, which is a very technical capacity job, some of the senior subsurface specialists get paid higher than him.
Yeah.
And that is the reward for specialization. I mean, he chose to generalize, he chose to manage, and I'm glad Shell actually does that lah. And I think similar, if you draw that parallels to the investing world, people always get rewarded to specialize, regardless business, in career, investing.
Now, that said, I've heard this famous quote by Nicholas Nassim Taleb before.
Oh, yes.
And this is something I need to add, right?
Yes.
I know we are talking a lot about specialists and how important it is. And it is. But he did say this interesting thing. The graveyard of specialists is bigger than the graveyard of generalists.
Oh my God.
And so what he's trying to say is that as good as specialists might be, what ends up happening is that because you're so specialized, you end up becoming comfortable. And actually you may end up dying. And there's no recourse. There's no way for you to pivot. So why I'm bringing this up is because as important as it is to specialize, and you should specialize, especially early on, and that's why doctors get,
Correct.
Orthopedics get paid more than general doctors by and large, is because you don't want to be a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
And you know the phrase, jack of all trades, master of none?
Yeah.
What you need to be eventually, right? Eventually, not right now.
Yeah.
Now you need to be a master of one.
Yeah.
But eventually, you'll be a jack of all trades, master of one. That means you still have, let's say, for example, we would like to be specialists in stock investing.
Correct.
But eventually, we'd like to be decently okay with a little bit of crypto.
A little bit of, I wouldn't say Forex, but a little bit of maybe private equity.
Private equity, VC, or God forbid, gold. Or even property, right? Eventually, we have to own some property, right?
Yeah.
So I think I would say that.
No, great
jack
point.
of all trades, master of one. That should be your goal. But be a master of one first, then be a jack of all trades.
Yes. So what do you think will be the next big struggle for personal finance content creators?
So this next thing I want to talk about is a big space within the personal finance industry, and that is insurance.
Okay.
Right. And I feel that the whole issue with insurance, and this is where it's more offline. So I think, with affiliate marketing and when we talk about budgeting, saving, diversification, all that, these are content that appears in the online space more. But when it comes to insurance, what I realize is a more offline one. So this is basically when you meet your agent for the first time, when you talk to them and things like that. There is a lot of either conscious or unconscious misinformation.
Okay.
Right? No one really knows what insurance is about.
It's all these jigsaw puzzles all over the place, but no one has the holistic kind of overview of the whole thing, overarching.
Yeah, and they don't simplify it
enough.
They don't simplify it without oversimplifying it. Where they don't tell you, they don't break it down as, okay, here's what you're going to be covered, and here's what it will cost you. Like if they're upfront about that, and they make it clear, then I feel that is something that makes the insurance industry a lot less grey.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on the insurance industry as general as possible? Or this would be a different podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, but maybe I try to come in like what you said, with a generalistic view. I had my mistrust of insurance. I mean, there's no denying it. I only got my insurance when I was 29, and I had an appendix surgery before that, for those of you who know. the struggle with a lot of what we call intermediaries or the sales guys in between is that to them, every financial problem is like a nail and they have the hammer. That's their struggle. So for a guy who sells unit trusts, you know that sometimes they have a by the way they sell wills solution. By the way they sell insurance. Like if you're a unit trust agent, and if you had sold this, I represented a very big mutual fund before, and if your EPF had exceeded a certain amount, I think it was 100,000 for certain funds. If you bought these certain funds, you get free insurance.
Oh wow!
You didn't know that, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you see, they are trying to use a hammer solution for everything that they try to perceive as a nail.
Yeah. Oh, you got investing? You want to invest? Insurance.
Insurance.
Want to make money? Insurance.
Insurance.
Income? Insurance.
Insurance. Everything is insurance.
Insurance.
Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of these lines get blurred.
Yeah.
Because in my years of being an insurance planner, right, I've come across, I would say 95% of the time, it is sold as a product. It is not sold as a solution. I know it sounds, there's a very gray area, but it's, in the industry, we call it need-based selling.
Need-based selling, okay.
Need-based selling, meaning you come, you understand the guy. If he already has his insurance solutions and protection all well done, he doesn't need you. Sad to say.
Yeah.
He doesn't need you. He needs probably a wealth manager to help him grow his wealth. Or he needs a estate planner to plan his will, to plan his trust and all that kind of. And that's where I think the CFPs and RFPs actually come in. The struggle is this. A lot of us, especially in Malaysia, or maybe even elsewhere outside the world, don't think it's feasible to pay fees to get independent advice. And it's actually linked to affiliate marketing as well. Someone needs to be compensated. How they need to be compensated. And this is where the structure gets very gray. If an insurance planner comes and see you, he does professional services, meaning he sits down, reviews your plan. He has to be trained to review that. How is he going to be compensated? If you are not compensating him for his time to professionally review your policies? It has actually through the commissions.
The products.
The products.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them for getting it. They have to be compensated. If not, how they eat.
Yeah.
Right? The CFPs and the RFPs struggle in Malaysia because a lot of people think that this advice can be given for free. And that's the model it has been. But someone has to pay. So you're paying through commission-based plans. The struggle is this. When an insurance planner is being commensurated based on a commission-based structure, right? Will he or she be really, really absolutely unbiased? That's the struggle.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that any product-based or commission-based agent is bad. There are some good ones out there, and I can attest to it. Is that they are in this quandary that they want to provide as much professional services as possible, but they need to be compensated.
Yeah, they're not paid for it.
Yeah, they're not paid for it. That's where there's this chicken and egg thing.
Yeah, I think part of it is also because I think this is my observation for Malaysians. They don't see the need. A lot of them, I wouldn't say all.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they don't see the need. Like, why should I pay for your words, essentially? Why should I pay for your information?
Yeah.
Why about things like that? And some of that concern might be true. But that's where I guess, and I think this is a deeper discussion about, like, what is the price that you have to pay for the fee, the fees that you have to pay for the advice, and what's the value of the advice.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe in the industry, if the value of the advice can be squeezed out for the public to see, like for example, because you got this advice, that's why person X saved 100,000 on his interest, something like that, right?
Yeah.
I think that will probably push the insurance industry in a
financial planning industry, not so just Yeah.
And to your point about product, I think the whole issue is that, to your point about commission is, people don't start with the person
Yeah.
that they're trying to
That's
solve
right.
the problem for.
That's right.
They are starting from what products do we have,
Spot on.
and let's throw it to whoever will take it. And if the guy doesn't need it, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Let's try and trick him to have it.
It's so I'm so glad you brought that point up, because I have seen insurers pushing their agency force to sell a dart product. I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, but commissions must be like
Oh yeah.
ridiculous, right?
I would never sell that product because comes back to a point of, do you eat your own cooking? I would never sell that product, because I look at it and I was like, my goodness, there are so many other alternatives out there, and this product doesn't even meet the objective of the individual to meet that objective of that. So, but a lot of...
But the objective is not to satisfy the client. The objective is to hit the sales so that you can be on MDRT.
Yes.
And then fly to wherever, Japan, New Zealand, wherever for your year-end party, right?
And to the customer, I think, sad to say, it's oblivious to them, because they don't know the sandbox, they don't know the structure, and that's the objective of why we are discussing this in the open. This is the elephant in the room.
Yeah, and it is deliberate. I don't know if it's deliberate, but it's very clear obfuscation, meaning it is deliberately complicated.
Yeah.
So many jargons and all that.
Correct.
It's impenetrable.
Yeah.
It's just a maze, right?
It's just a maze. And sometimes my insurance mentor and I, we discuss this, right? And we see online insurance being sold. It's a very big thing now, Lemonade in the US and even in Malaysia, right? But people tend to oversimplify all these things.
Yeah.
There has to be a balance. I'm not saying that you shouldn't simplify. I mean, both you and I will agree, we love to simplify things, but
as much as we can.
As much as we can. But the caveat is this: there are certain things that are within the framework that by hook or by crook you need to understand. Yeah. And I feel that the more people discuss the elephant in the room, the more people understand the framework. When you have an educated public that would be able to discern how is a person being compensated or commensurated, then they are clearer on whether it is a conflict of interest to them.
Yeah.
The problem is this: a lot of half-truths are out there. It's not just the obfuscation, or it's the half-truth. So it's like people say, is this insurance agents get paid very high commissions? Yeah. And then you go online, is you don't you save on a lot of commissions. But what are the other things that are tied to the hip? Claims, services, planning. Like what you said, people are not willing to pay for words. Hey, those words are very expensive, If someone has 10, 15 years of experience planning for multi-millionaires and family trust and all that kind of thing, I think an hour with him can solve a lot of my problems if I'm at that level, you see. But yeah,
like I said, right? I think that the fee-based advisors, I find it to get their act together in terms of getting the message out there as to why specifically. They're not marketing themselves the way the product pushers are marketing themselves.
You have to differentiate. Actually, right now they are demonizing the product pushers, but instead they should be marketing themselves by saying that what is the difference?
Like pay me 10,000 once off.
Yeah.
And I will save you X amount.
Yes.
And I think that would be a pretty good sales message. Right?
Correct.
But yeah, anyway, I mean, insurance is something that we can go on and on for, and we're going to move on. And here's the last thing that we're going to talk about. And this actually applies to us as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And that is, we all need to be aware of free content online.
Yeah.
Okay? So, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, a lot of the things that we say here, you listeners should take it like a mirror and then show it to us as well.
Yeah.
And if we break any of these, just let us know. And one thing that we do is free content, right? And I think earlier on you mentioned about how there's no such thing as a free lunch in this world. So when you watch any free videos, know that there must be some sort of incentive behind it.
Correct.
And a lot of the times, that incentive is monetary. It might not be fully, but it might be partially.
Yes.
Because no one is going to do, or it's very rare for someone to do something for no money.
Yeah.
Even if the person has no product or he has no courses or affiliate or any of that, he's still being compensated through YouTube.
Yeah.
And so that itself can be problematic because then he's only going to create content that the YouTube algorithm will allow him or that the YouTube algorithm likes.
Yes.
But it might not be the right content for you over time, right?
That's right.
And so this is the same for us, right? So this is the FIRL business model,
This is the FIRL business model.
right?
Yeah.
We create videos.
Mm-hmm.
We do things like stock analysis and general investing concepts. And you watch it, you either like us or you don't like us.
Yeah.
If you don't like us,
It's a free will.
yeah, you don't like us, bye-bye. And if you like us, then you hopefully gain more trust with us. And eventually, maybe you will apply for our mentorship.
Yes.
Maybe you get on some of our e-products.
Yes.
Or if you don't want, you can get more free stuff from us, like our free training or our free ebook,
That's right.
right? You may or may not pay us. But why do you think, John, that free content can be dangerous?
I think free content can be dangerous when it's taken out of context. In the sense that, okay, let's just say you put an infographic out there.
Yeah.
And the most recent one was the multiple bagger stocks, right?
Yeah. Fundamentals, like why that people say that fundamentals don't work in Malaysia. Then I just put out a chart of, I think, 3 companies that are fundamentally good and their share price has risen a lot.
Yeah,
so.
multi-bagger, right?
Yeah.
And straight away, people pick apart certain points of the message and taken out of context. Like, for example, they thought that we were demonizing day traders.
Yeah, okay, go on.
Okay. They thought that also that, they started questioning us. You are saying that short term doesn't work. We are saying, short term doesn't work and all that kind of thing. And I feel that free content with a certain space does not give full context to the message being sent across. And people pick and choose what they want to hear and what they want to listen. And that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
The second point I like to think of is that people, when they get free content, right, they expect it to be free because let's all be honest, we're all cheapskates here.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to pay for words.
Yeah.
You say, I can Google this. I can. Yeah. How are we going to be compensated for our time and our experience to actually come up? We probably had to knock ourselves 5-6 times on the wall to be able to come up with one realization and make that mistake. So that's where I think a lot of people mistake that, these guys don't need the money or they should be doing this for free or that kind of thing. So 2 my reasons.
Yeah, I mean free content is great and all, but you have to realize that there's always a price that you have to pay.
Yeah. There's no free lunch.
So for example, some people will ask us, why do you create e-products and why do you create mentorship programs? So why can't you give it out all for free? The first is that we realize when people don't pay for it, they don't take it seriously. And our job as running the mentorship and all that, what we want first and foremost is that the guy's life is transformed through the techniques that we guide them through. Yes. Not all will, let's be honest. Yeah. There's no guarantee, and I can tell you, not everyone succeeds in our program.
Both hands need to clap.
Yeah, both hands need to clap, right? And on our side, we just need to make sure that we do not overpromise the offer that we give you in a mentorship and that we actually fulfill what we said that we were going to do. Yeah. So I feel that that is something that we have to be very clear of. And back to my point about free content is that it's never free because people have to spend time. And that's why we have to charge. Yes. That's it. Yeah. Right? So, and people, another one is that, if you're so good, why do you need to do all this? And my response is, we don't. Yeah. We don't have to do all this. Yes. But there are people who are asking. Yes. And so if there are people who are asking for mentorship, then we're wondering, hey, maybe if we talk about it and we tell other people about it, maybe some people who need it but don't need it, then when we mention it, then they realize that they need it, then they come to us. Yeah. But if you don't, then you don't. You don't move on. Yeah, and we don't even accept. We don't, 85% of our applicants get rejected. Exactly. Right? So, but anyway, enough about us, but back to the free content, right? At the end of the day, you should not be surprised that at the end of any free content or multiple free content is a call to action.
Yeah.
And usually that call to action involves some sort of buying, some sort of financial transaction.
Or a subscription, or whatever.
Or a subscription.
Yeah.
And that model, that they call it the freemium model, which by the way is exactly what Facebook does.
It's exactly what Gmail does, Google
does,
yeah,
Adobe, all these guys do. So the freemium model is not a problem, right? And a lot of people are attacking the freemium model. So they'll talk about, oh, hey, they give they do give a free book or they give a free class, or then at the end of the day, there's like a call to action and they want to get you to buy your stuff.
Yeah.
That, if you're criticizing that, sorry to say, right? You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're attacking the model.
Yeah.
The problem is not the model.
No.
Successful companies do that all the time.
Correct.
The problem is when the price of the product or service that they're offering at the end of that, all the free content, does not match the value.
It doesn't match. Yeah, it doesn't match up to your value.
Yeah. And so whoever is attacking this, please direct your anger not to the business model, right? Not saying, oh, if it's free webinar, it's bad. No.
I think to add to that point, it would be naive for you to think that you can get everything for free. It would be very naive.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for example, when you sign up on a free Google account, what are you giving away? Actually, you're giving away even more expensive than money, You're giving away data.
Oh, yeah.
That can be monetized, and that's even more expensive.
Yeah,
than
Google knows where you stay. Google knows what you search, the kind of things that you search online, what you buy, everything.
To be honest, I rather pay Google for my services, but you don't keep my data.
It's a trade, yeah.
It's a trade. And I think that's why every time I cringe when I see people say, Malaysia has a fantastic medical system. It's free. Okay, who pays for it?
It's not free, dude.
It's not free, man. You are paying either through your taxes, either through subsidization from the government, because they are using certain resources that they could have used to build roads to subsidize you medically. So it's not free.
And this is a more hidden cost, which is that if you control the prices of all these services, what ends up happening is that, you see, the hospital is also a business.
Yes.
So when he dispenses all these drugs and advice and operations and all that at a capped price, that means their doctors have to be capped as well.
And
the salary.
And what happens to that when it goes to value?
Yeah. So what ends up happening is that you're going to be stuck with doctors who are either not up to date or very pure-hearted.
Yes.
Where money is totally not
an issue. Yes.
And of course, a lot of doctors are pure-hearted, and a lot of them who can actually make more choose not to. They just go into a government hospital because, to them it's all about
giving back,
helping people. Okay, fine. But the reality is that if you want higher quality doctors and medical innovation, people talk about medical coverage, people talk about medical costs, but they don't talk about medical innovation.
Yeah.
And when you cap the economic potential of the hospital, you are also capping medical innovation, because then there won't be enough initiatives for research.
Yeah. Where's the funds going for research?
For hiring the top PhDs in the world.
Yeah.
Right. And then we come back and say, as Malaysians, you see our biotech space is like so underdeveloped. We're so far behind all these top countries. Yeah, because
who's funding it?
Yeah.
So I guess that really kind of sums up probably a part of what we want to discuss, the struggles and the problems of the personal finance space. We could go on a lot more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think we just wanted to start this conversation off and addressing elephant in the rooms and addressing what is the sandbox actually. And I think probably something we want to do in the future, MJ, is actually talk about all the players within the finance space and how are they compensated? How are they being remunerated for their services? And someone has to pay. You just have to be aware of what you're paying for. Yeah,
and you have to be aware that when you see an affiliate and you participate in it, that you might be the least smart person in the room. In the industry. Right. But that is a podcast for another time. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, and see you in the next one.
Goodbye.